Well, anyway, do you think the Blackened this time has some sort of superpower?
Hmm?
What are you talking about?
Well, as a self-proclaimed expert of stepping through floorboards, isn't it weird that no one stepped through that floorboard before the culprit used it?
That's what I said earlier. I think it's because of the salt circle.
Ah, that is a good point.
It must have been barrier magic.
Must have been.
Well, that's one possibility, but I think it might have been something else.
That must be the reason. The salt circle.
This is it! It's because of the magic circle at the scene of the crime.
Yeah, so he... And anyone who knew of the seance. Nah, maybe it is Kia.
Before we began the seance, we were warned not to step on the circle. The floorboard in question was within the circle. That's why no one stepped on it.
So the magic circle's purpose was to keep us away from the whole trick.
But why would he sabotage his own seance? He seems so into it.
That was part of the culprit's plans too?
That's right. If that's the case, then the culprit. No doubt in my mind, they're the one who killed Tanko. The one person had the opportunity and the motive. Wait, who had the motive? I mean, I guess this murder actually
It has
doesn't
to
matter.
be you! Kyo,
It's
was it you?
whoever killed Angie. 'Cause that's right, this murder is just inconsequential. So even if Kyo was the one, they'll be fine.
Whatever are you talking about?
I'm talking about Tenko's murder.
Kyo? Why do you suspect me?
I don't know about the motive, but
Because you were the one who drew the magic circle. The circle kept us from discovering the seesaw trick. But that's not all it was for. In order to make the murder succeed, variables like Tenko's position and the placement of the cage needed to be defined. And those variables were defined by using the magic circle. In short, the circle itself was the most important tool in this murder. Knowing that, the person who drew the magic circle has to be the
still wanna know
culprit.
how they wedged the sickle there. I know they said they put the statue on top of it and had it poking through, but to get it to stay in place.
Well, Kyo,
Answer already! Did you do it?
What is so funny? I was just thinking. So this is how each Blackened must have felt. What an intriguing experience this is.
What? An intriguing experience?
But if I am the culprit as you claim, then I stomped on the floorboard, yes? So, do tell.
Okay.
How could I have stomped on the floorboard during that darkened seance?
He somehow knew the distance from where he was standing to the floorboard.
I see. That is problem.
Unless that is made clear, you cannot be certain I am the culprit.
I mean, you can say that about literally anyone.
how can you be so calm when you're backed into a corner like this?
I will explain that in due time. Please answer my question first.
Culprit stepped on the exact floorboard, even in the darkness. How did they move around in total darkness? In a room that dark, it's hard to imagine the culprit found the right floorboard. Although, even after I put out the candle, I could move along the wall with my hand.
Wait a minute. Maybe...
Did you figure it out?
That's it. Culprit didn't even have to see it all. They used... Sixth sense. Well, I guess touch. That's the only thing I can think of.
That's it!
Don't know how the other ones would have
The
worked.
culprit used touch. They didn't see, they felt.
That way they could get around in the dark, like how I got to the candle.
Wasn't Seesaw in middle of room? Gonta doesn't think it was near wall.
So they probably used something besides the wall to move then, right?
Were there any other markers within reach?
Of course, the answer to that is there was nothing of the sort.
No, I'm sure there was something. A landmark they could have used to determine where the floorboard was. I mean, the cage itself. Question? Okay. Wait. To position themselves in the dark. Candles. Well, that's 2 words. What do we got? Okay, it doesn't start with G. Doesn't start with C. Doesn't start with A. M? Okay. The magic circle. Okay. Yeah. So, felt the salt?
That's it! The magic circle. They used the magic circle. Remember? The magic circle was drawn with salt. The culprit used the salt's texture to feel their way through the dark.
I see. So Keebo traced the magic circle with his hands to get to the loose floorboard.
Oh, I see. You drew the magic circle with salt to use it as a guide.
How did the salt not fall through the floorboards?
An interesting thought. It is unfortunate that it is so wrong. Recall the document. What did the magic circle look like?
Based on the document, the magic circle wouldn't reach the corners of the room.
That's fine. I'm assuming he was just standing at the end of that sort of footpath part.
So what?
When the room was darkened, each of us was in a corner of the room, yes?
You've just gone down the outside.
The magic circle didn't reach us, so I could not have followed it, yes?
But you're talking about the magic circle in the document. That doesn't mean the circle you drew was the same.
No, I most definitely drew it exactly the same. I have it perfectly memorized.
So which is it? Is there any way to check?
Not anymore. The
Kikichi
magic circle is a complete mess from being trampled on.
sort of made a point of double checking it. And he was confused about something. Investigation itself would have gotten rid of the evidence. Clever.
Everyone, may I have your attention, please?
Does he have like a video recording thing?
What a pain. We don't have any way to check it now.
Excuse me, everyone. May I have your attention, please?
Well, I guess there's no point in discussing the magic circle anymore.
Hey, may I have your attention?
Oh, I said cut that out! It's too bright!
I apologize. I just wanted everyone to listen to me.
About what?
I had Miu add another function to my body, in addition to the flashlight.
What the? No way! Did you really? Stop! You can't! I didn't install it for that
Please, let me use it! With it, I might be able to save everyone.
Alright, so what is this function?
It's an image recording function.
So what purpose did she install it if not for this purpose? But for solving murders?
Image recording?
Specifically, this function allows me to dispense a printout of my own memory. I'll give it a try. Ready?
What sort of image is going to be printed? Is it going to be like on a Polaroid or something?
From your mouth?
I also used magic like that before.
This printout is my memory of being kicked out of the seance. Please confirm that the floor of the empty room is clearly visible.
I see lines coming out
Go
from
on,
there.
take the picture and see for yourself.
Okay.
That's a-
Got it.
Even in a dark room, you can still walk towards the center. So this is the magic circle used for the seance.
Well, Shuichi, do you notice anything?
Oh, so... I like how it highlights when you just go over it.
There! This helped a lot, Keebo. Without you.
I feel like those lines would have still been there. I don't know how they would have been messed up.
I never would have seen through Kiyo's lie.
My lie?
My lie.
You just said that you drew the magic circle exactly as it appears in the document. But that's a lie, isn't it? The magic circle at the scene had lines that stretched to the room's corners, which means that you would be able to find the floorboard from anywhere in the room.
So it was different from the document after all.
All because Himiko noticed. And because of Keebo, too.
Hey, where's my thanks? I'm the one who installed that function into Keebo.
Hey, yeah, what was it you were saying about its purpose?
Oh, to be honest, the purpose of that image recording function is to monitor my health. Specifically, I make Keebo use that function every day to analyze my turds.
Why?
Your what? Why? Shit is a great indicator of intestinal health and gut bacteria quality.
Who writes this?
Plus, taking a satisfying shit does wonder.
Okay.
See? You're all grossed out.
Quit talking about your... Kiyo, you killed Tenko, didn't you? Just give up and admit it already.
So, Kiyo, if you have any objections, you can...
Your deductions are fiction.
You haven't even gotten to the actual
Well,
murder
since
of
you've
the case
given
yet.
me the option, I will most certainly object. To be honest, it's unimportant, but it may be an amusing diversion. Now I shall bear witness to your abilities, Shuichi. Do entertain me.
Go down. How do I do this again?
If you are going to claim I am the culprit, then what of the murder weapon? It was set up in the cage. The only people capable of that are Kokichi and Shuichi, who carried the cage. So suspicion should fall on them.
Who carried the statue? I think it's everyone.
True, we could have placed the sickle there, but we could not have removed it later. Because we weren't the ones who lifted the cage. That was Himiko.
The only person who could have collected the sickle is Himiko. But the only people
No
who
one
could have
collected
placed the
that.
sickle are Kokichi and Shuichi. But in regards to that dilemma, I did not carry the cage, nor did I lift it. I had no opportunity to touch the sickle.
never touched the cage. Both placing and retrieving the sickle were impossible. It wasn't about placing the cage, it was about placing the dog statue, wasn't it?
Oh no! I had no opportunity to touch the sickle.
Okay, so that still doesn't work. So, it's not cage or dog statue.
Or
White
did I
sheet.
lift it? I had no opportunity to touch the sickle.
Yeah.
I'll cut through
White
your
sheet was
words.
between the cage and the dog statue.
The only person who could have set up the sickle and retrieved it afterward is Keebo. That was done by covering the cage with a white cloth. You could have secretly placed the sickle when you draped the cloth. And retrieved it afterward when you removed the cloth. Then, while everyone was distracted, you discreetly dropped the sickle under the floor.
Wonderful! That's exactly correct.
Okay.
It's correct. Then why don't you give up already?
The trick I put so much work into is just wasted effort now. Alas.
So, it was you? You killed Tenko?
Let me guess. You'll never forgive me. Himiko, you must hate me so very much.
What was his motive?
Maybe you'd feel better if I was executed by Monokuma. But unfortunately for you, that won't happen. Because if you vote for me, every spotless, including myself, will die.
What you talking about, Kyo?
You still don't understand? I killed Tenko, that is the truth. But it is meaningless in this class trial.
Meaningless?
You mean Monokuma's extra rule, right?
Oh, that's right. What happens to your votes if there are two blackened candidates? Well, I have an answer for that. It's first come, first served.
You see, I killed Tenko, but not Angie. For us, Tenko's death is nothing but a trivial issue.
So trivial.
Because the blackened in this trial is the culprit who killed Angie.
Trivial issue? No, that's gotta be a lie. You probably killed Angie too.
That is simply not possible. Recall that I was unable to enter Angie's lab.
Oh, only student council members and Kokichi could enter research lab.
Yeah, I'm guessing it was Tenko.
How could I have possibly killed Angie when I couldn't even enter her lab?
We can figure that out. No one else could have done it besides you. If you're the one who killed Tenko, you gotta be the one who killed Angie.
I understand how you feel, Himiko, but maybe we can discuss this rationally and calmly. There is a non-zero possibility that Kyo is telling the truth.
So you understand how she feels. I see. Wait, robots can understand human feelings?
Of course I understand. I work really hard to understand.
Hey, why are you getting all worked up, Keebo? Chill, dude.
That's enough! It's voting time! I'm gonna vote for him!
Voting for me will only help the one who murdered Angie.
And she's already dead.
Isn't Kyo culprit?
Of course I'm not. This case was an error on my part. Monokuma added that rule after both bodies were found, yes? How was I to know that the trial would only be for Angie's killer? Had I known,
That's a good point.
I certainly wouldn't have killed Tenko.
You're lying! You killed Tenko and Angie!
Now hold on. Jumping to conclusions here is dangerous.
But he purposely made it look like how Angie died.
We should talk it out more. This case might have juicy plot twists waiting to happen.
Nuts to that! Any way you look at this case, Kyo is obviously the culprit.
Obviously.
Yeah, there's sort of no other way to look at it.
No, it's too dangerous to vote before we arrive at a logical decision.
The culprit's one of you! Wowee! This argument is getting intense!
The Ultimate Academy is proud to present its very own more phenomenal trial ground!
More phenomenal. Okay.
Yippee! I've been waiting for this!
Is this where we split into 2 teams?
Why were you waiting for it?
Kyo confessed to killing Tenko, but insists he didn't kill Angie. We won't forgive Kyo for what he did. We can't vote until we know the facts. I have to pin down the evidence and convince everyone. So I guess, yeah, he killed Tenko to try to pin it on the Blackened so that they would solve Angie's murder. And he would get away with it, thinking he was also Blackened. So, where was I going with this? But then he inadvertently killed the actual murderer. Going up. How many people have died so far? 4? 5? I think 5.
Kyo killed Tenko and Angie!
Keebo! We don't know for certain that Kyo killed Angie.
He forced his way into Angie's research lab and killed her!
Kyo! Anyone could have entered my lab.
Oops.
The katana was found in Kyo's lab.
Up there's.
Kyo! Anyone could have entered my lab.
So Kyo did kill Tenko, but he not Blackened?
Kokichi! Perhaps there's a second Blackened we need to find.
He was planning to use the new rule to protect himself all along.
Kyo! Not possible. That rule was added after both murders.
We solved the mystery of Tenko.
I've got this!
Okay.
Not
that's
yet.
just
There's still
possible
another
for this.
mystery to solve.
He forced his way.
Kyo killed Tenko and Angie!
Yeah.
Keebo! We don't know for certain that Kyo killed Angie.
He forced his way into Angie's research lab and killed her!
I've got this!
But he couldn't get into Angie's research lab.
The katana was found in Kyo's...
Kyo! Anyone could have entered my lab.
So Kyo did kill Tenko, but he not...
Kokichi! Perhaps there's a
Kokichi.
second Blackened we need to find.
He was planning to use the new...
Kyo! Not possible. That rule was added after both murders.
We solved the mystery.
I've got this!
Not yet. There's still another mystery to solve.
Crouch bind.
This is our answer!
It would be a mistake to vote before we've completely solved Angie's murder. And there's still the mystery of Tenko's murder.
Is there still a mystery of Tenko's murder?
Mystery? What kind of mystery?
Well, Kyo's confession derailed our conversation a bit. But we still have to go over one of the clues found at Tenko's crime scene.
Okay.
I believe it might even have something to do with Angie's murder.
The dried blood. That's right. Oh.
This is it!
Dried blood under floorboard.
The blood stain found under the floor. Maki and I found... It was beneath the floorboard that the culprit stomped on.
Is that Tenko's blood?
That bloodstain was too far from Tenko's corpse to have been hers.
Also, the bloodstain was already dry when we found it. But the blood from Tenko's body hadn't even begun to dry yet.
Well, that's weird. Why was that bloodstain the only dry one?
Bloodstain on the floorboard was dry because it happened before the seance. I mean, these two are pretty much the same answer. That's not at all. Well,
That's it!
that's it.
The bloodstain wasn't from Tenko's murder. It was there before we started the seance.
Before the seance?
That should make it clear whose blood it was.
That's it!
I mean, who knows how long
That
the blood was
bloodstain
there?
wasn't Tenko's. It was Angie's.
Why was blood from Angie at the scene of Tenko's murder?
Good question.
Yeah, wasn't Angie killed in her research lab?
Just because we found her body there doesn't mean she was killed there.
Good point.
Ah, I guess that's possible.
If Angie wasn't killed in her lab, then that opens up a lot more possibilities. We assumed that only council members could have killed Angie since her body was in her lab. But if she died somewhere else, then we can't suspect just the council members anymore.
So the culprit didn't enter her lab, but waited for her to come out of it?
I'm not sure if the culprit waited for her, but they probably killed her when she came out. Well, I thought that was more likely from the start.
Wasn't Miko standing guard though?
So I went to places Angie might have gone and checked all 3 empty rooms.
Places she might have gone? Why did you check the empty rooms then?
The empty rooms were the only places I could think of that Angie would go.
Did Angie have business in rooms?
It seems Kokichi's up to his usual misleading nonsense again.
I do lie a lot, and I could be lying right now too. But I'm pretty sure someone's panicking right now because of my lie.
She left her lab on her own and was headed to the room where she was killed. Okay.
The art research lab is not where Angie was killed. She was killed in the empty room instead!
She left her lab on her own?
But why would she go into an empty room? There shouldn't have been anything
She had the
in there.
Necronomicon.
Except for candles.
That's it! She wanted a candle!
Yes.
I agree!
First try.
That's it. Angie went to that room to get a candle.
Yeah, for kinky wax play!
Yeah, that must be it.
No. Angie was gonna use it for the ritual.
No.
According to the Necronomicon, to resurrect the dead.
After preparing the effigy, burn this Necronomicon to ashes. Use caution. Be mindful of carbon monoxide poison.
Then, did she seek out a candle so she could burn the book?
That's right. There's nothing to start a fire with in Angie's lab. So she went to go get a candle from one of the empty rooms.
Okay.
And that's when the culprit attacked her!
Sure. Makes
That's
sense.
why there was dried blood under floor.
Which means Angie was attacked in the same room the seance was held. Bravo, Himiko! Well done for choosing that room for the seance. If we hadn't done the seance in that room, then Tenko's murder would have been in another room. If that happened, no one would have discovered Angie's bloodstain under the floorboards.
I think we would have. We would have seen the hole in the... Well, depending on which
That's
side.
right. Shuichi and I only checked under the floorboards where Tenko died.
Yep, it's all thanks to Himiko for choosing the same room as Angie. This must be Atua's will. Or maybe the power of magic.
It's neither. I just picked one.